All right, here we go. Big Daddy Shin day 1042 at the park. So, there are times when I did things in life where it's like, I didn't know why. But then one day, it's like, oh, okay. Like, when your parents, they tell you, you know what, you should do this, But, you go, no, Mom, no, Dad. I mean, who wants to learn Korean when I'm Korean, right? Who wants to exercise? Who wants to do this? But, you don't know until when you get older. But there's things that we do in life that like with the whole, the whole thing with the, and Harold the handyman's telling me about like the whole, live stream, what I should do. And, whatever, right? But then I bought these things, but I never used it until now. And then now I'm like, oh my gosh, it makes life so much easier, right? Now, when the reason why I'm saying all this stuff is something really occurred to me yesterday, where I was thinking about like the Bible. Okay, there's a story of the Tower of Babel. Like these people decided, hey, you know what? We're going to build a tower that goes straight up to God, right? And then they go, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Let's all work together and make this tower so we can go see God anytime we want. So what they do is they work on this tower and it just goes up, and people are cooperating. But as the story goes, God gets pissed. And then he strikes that thing down, destroys that tower, and then he does some type of confusion where everybody starts speaking different languages. And then so, since they can't communicate, they couldn't build this tower, and they all, went to different countries, and there you go. So, obviously, my non-religious friends are probably like, oh, that story's BS and stuff. But you know what? I like the story. But now, what happens is, in the time of world that we live in, right? You take classes where they make you learn foreign language. Some people take French, some people take German. I took Spanish. But it's like, oh, I'm never going to use this. In America, we only speak English, But that's when you're a kid and you realize your world's like super small, right? Oh, I'm never going to use this language. I'm never going to use that, right? That's what I thought. I really did. And so now I'm in a situation where I'm forced to speak different languages. Now, in the computer stuff, there are things called flowcharts. Okay? Like you get like a bunch of equipment stuff, and then this has to plug into this, to make something work correctly. Okay? Now what happens is, if you only speak one language, you're kind of screwed. Unless you want to live exactly where you live for the rest of your life. Okay, so just say, oh, I only speak English and that's it. Okay, if you go anywhere outside America, you're screwed. Well, I mean, if you go to LA, you're kind of screwed too. But if you go to places that don't speak English, what are you going to do? Okay, so the beauty about it is that if you know another language, then you could actually communicate with somebody from another culture. So, for instance, I speak, let me go basic thing of this. My family's Korean. Now, the thing is, I should be able to speak Korean. It's just, I was one of those, I didn't do whatever, right? But, so then people, like if I meet like somebody from Korea, I should be able to speak it. But now I can't, but I kind of understand, so I need that flow chart. I need somebody who speaks Korean and English so I could say, hey, whatever, they could help translate or whatever, okay? But the thing is, I could have easily taken care of that by just learning Korean straight off the bat, okay? But in high school, they actually make you learn either French, Spanish, sometimes German, whatever, right? So, what is it? Yeah, I mean, Spanish is probably the most important in America here. But then, like France, I remember some people were taking Latin. So think about them. It's like, if they can't speak English, they have to find the nearest Latin person. Utwe, Ize, Upe. That's Pig Latin. So what happened is, these things are really fascinating. Like, for instance, when I went to Mexico, and then so I speak English and Spanish, okay? And then Stuart speaks English, Spanish. He understands Korean, right? And then we had a friend named Angela who just spoke Korean and Spanish, okay? So the thing is, I couldn't talk English to her because she didn't understand. But then, so I had to talk to her in Spanish. And then she would talk to Stuart in Korean. And then Stuart would translate to English. And then I'd tell him something in English. Well, he'd just tell her in Spanish. So I'd cut out the Korean on that way. But it's just funny how, like, okay, we had to figure it that way. Now, when I'm, same thing, like, when I talk to different people in Spanish or whatever, it's just, that's only just one language. We're talking about, I'm dealing with people now, like today, I met some girl. She's, I don't know what she is, but she lives in United Kingdom. She speaks English and Arabic, and she's a physics PhD, but she dances also. And then so, when she's just talking, it's kind of weird because, when you hear the people's accents. So that's another thing too. Depending on what region you're from, you have different accents. So, like when you hear someone from another country speak English, so I know what, people from Mexico sound like, or Korea, just whatever. You just know they're not from here, right? So when I'm listening to this girl speak Arabic, I'm like, what language is that? I don't know what it is. Because she's speaking another language in another accent that people around her, they totally could understand, So I was like, oh my gosh. So it's fascinating on when we go that whole Tower of Babel thing, right? How everyone was just divided up, and it was meant that everybody's going to be divided, right? So you can cooperate. I mean, who knows what it was for? Well, I mean, yeah, so they don't try to, like, screw with God. That's bad. That's bad. It's surprising, like, they all didn't die, right? So we're getting to the point in this world where people want that whole world unity, world peace, all that kind of stuff. In order for that to happen, you know what has to happen? The language thing. We're going to have to be like all these multilingual people, because no matter what, you can't say like, oh, well, let's make English the most spread language. No. How cocky is that? Some other country, they think their language is the best, whatever, It's like, hey, why don't you be like this? Why don't you be like us? It's like, you know what? Some people are perfectly happy being who they are, right? It's like, I'm not going to go and renounce my American citizenship and, I don't know, go to Italy. Even though I'm pretty sure it's pretty awesome when you go, oh, I'm Italian, whatever. That was a bad example. I mean, all things are bad examples. I mean, I'm looking at the pictures from all these other different countries. I'm like, oh man, I wish I was there. I wish I was there. I wish I was there. Okay? But, hey. But the main thing is, yeah, I mean, you guys got to learn more languages, open to cultures, because as the way that things are going in the world, and everything's going to be online, everything's starting to get unified. So you have people that you're being unified. You know, like, I mean, when there's no internet, everybody's all secluded and stuff. But now you can reach almost anybody in the world, okay? Except the ones under the communist regime when they're like blocked from that stuff. But someone's going to sneak in a cell phone in that area. But when you have that, it's pretty fascinating. Now, the thing that I'm doing is dance. So the thing is, dance is its own language. It's not like you know, you didn't know what the accents or whatever. They communicate. It's like a big game of charades. So I'm thinking like, gosh, what if I unified the whole world through dance? I know. Look at me, the dancer, right? So anyways, it's pretty fascinating. But that's what I was thinking last night, and it really messed me up. Because, like, you know what? I didn't choose my destiny. No, I'm kidding. Whatever. All right, there you go. Day 1042 in the books. So, yeah, I had to take a break from that one because I had to talk to China and Russia. It's so fascinating. I mean, thank God these people speak English. But it's like, I can't imagine. Like, you know, when you see, like, in those movies and stuff, like those people that speak 7 languages and they could just switch. Just like, no big deal. Oh, to be younger. I mean, I guess I could still do it. I mean, I learned Spanish pretty quickly. But, you know, learn these other ones. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's exciting. But anyways, it's about unifying the world, right? I mean, it's pretty nuts. I mean, you know, it's not going to happen in my lifetime, but it's like I could see how it could possibly happen. So anyways, Big Daddy Shin, day 1042. If I could exercise 1042 days in a row, you could exercise 1042 days in a row. If I could do it, you could do it. And I'm doing it. Let's see. Not the language barrier. Multilingual. That's good. The importance of being multilingual. Multilingual importance. There we go. Awesome.